Let's turn now to your major national headlines. An update this morning. President Trump says the U.S. is engaged in, quote, serious discussions with new and more reasonable regime to end our military operations in Iran. Secretary of State Marco Rubio shared similar remarks during an appearance on Good Morning America. President Trump this morning also reissuing the threat of expanding U.S. strikes against Iran if negotiations fail. Happening now, workers with the TSA soon see some financial relief after the Trump administration says employees will be paid in the next few days. Now, that said, Washington remains gridlocked. ABC's Rachel Scott has more on the impasse that's preventing the shutdown from ending.
45 days into this partial government shutdown, and Congress has left town for 2 weeks. I've talked to Democrats and Republicans, and right now there are no plans for them to return to address this. This has now become the longest shutdown in American history. The president has taken action to pay TSA workers, but that is only a temporary fix. Only Congress can fully fund the Department of Homeland Security. There are still thousands of DHS workers who are going without pay, including civilian employees with the Coast Guard and with FEMA. The Senate and the House have passed two competing proposals. Democrats are still demanding significant changes to immigration reform before fully funding DHS. But instead of staying here in Washington to work out their differences, lawmakers have all left town for a 2-week recess. And it is worth noting they are still getting their paychecks with no end in sight to this partial government shutdown. Rachel Scott, ABC News, Washington.
Gathered today for one message and one message alone. And that is that people matter. Their voices matter.
Back here in the Metro, Des Moines was one of many locations nationwide where demonstrators gathered for No Kings protests. Protesters spoke out against the Trump administration on a wide range of issues. Some key concerns were the war in Iran, ICE's crackdown throughout the country, and civil rights for LGBTQ individuals. Speakers ranged from local union leaders to vocal performances.
Civic engagement, our First Amendment rights to free speech and demonstration are critical to the functioning of our democracy.
The next protest is on May 1st. On that day, protesters calling for a strike and boycott of all goods and services. Also developing in the Metro, a grieving mother is speaking out after her daughter was found dead during a welfare check in Des Moines. Loved ones gathered to remember 33-year-old Martasha McKenzie at Grandview Park this weekend. She was found dead last week during a welfare check at an apartment. Police say when officers arrived, a man tried to attack her father before charging at an officer who then shot and killed the attacker. The family hopes Martasha's story raises awareness about domestic abuse.
If it's toxic, teach your daughters to realize toxic from real.
From real love, right?
From, you know what I'm saying?
Toxic relationships.
If it's always bickering, this and that, that's not love. You know, love is peace.
A GoFundMe for Martasha has been set up to support her 6 children. DMPD says it is still investigating her death.